Professor Jim Schultz here from my Finance 311 class. I wanted to go ahead and shoot a video here for one of the Chapter 10 problems. And as you can see here on my screen, I have number 23 up and ready to go. So I thought this would be a good problem to work through because it's a very basic standard expected return and standard deviation problem, and this is something you definitely want to be pretty comfortable with coming out of Chapter 10. So the problem gives you the states of nature table, which you do not see here, but this is number 23 from Chapter 10, so you can look down and see that for yourself. And then basically you need to find the expected return and then the standard deviation. Obviously, when given both of those things to solve for, you always want to find the expected return first because you need the expected return to find the standard deviation. And so here's your equation for expected return, exactly the same as what we have gone through in class, where you're simply taking R1 P2 R1 P1, R2 P2, R3 P3, R4 P4. Right, you're going to have this number of terms as you do the number of states in the table, and this one has 4. So you fill in all the numbers over here that are all that can all be found on the table, and then you get an expected return of 20%. So that's how you solve the first part, and then you turn down to the second part for standard deviation, and these numbers are basically derived from simply following those 5 steps that we put up in class, where for each state, which each state is one of these lines, in the parentheses you see the deviation from the mean. So there's step 1, there's step 2 where you square that deviation, and then you multiply that whole term by the probability. That is step 3. So you follow step 1, 2, and 3 for each of these 4 states. Right, so you have your expected return of 20% kind of going straight down, and then the returns from each state respectively going down as well. And then you carry out the first 3 steps, find this number for each state, and then step 4 is to add up these numbers, which gives you this guy right here, which is of course is your variance, and then you take the square root of that number, and that is your standard deviation. So this is how you solve number 23 from Chapter 10.